Hi everybody, it's me again, the guy in the wetsuit, your favorite or soon to be favorite struggling YouTuber. I'm heading to work and it was raining a bit last night and this morning as well after I took my boy to school. Yeah, and today I just want to share a bit about how I bought my car. So you know, when you start working as a guy and that buy a car bug bites you, you start thinking crazy, man. Like everything you want to do is just you want to see yourself buying a car, you want to see yourself driving. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I used to drive like a lot of people's cars, my uncle's cars here in Cape Town. I basically know a lot of places in Cape Town. I know like basically almost every township, every suburb. Like I've probably been there, or I know of it. I know the roads, I know shortcuts, I know a lot. So I thought, yeah, no man, it's time. I should buy a car now. And then I started talking to my uncle. But one thing that was a problem was I was not going to these places to go and look for the car. I was relying mostly on the website. Mostly on the website. And yeah, talking to my uncle, I didn't want the Polo for my personal reasons. I didn't want the VW basically, even though like I could afford most. So yeah, basically I just wanted a smaller car, a bit, underground, not a highly noticeable car. Yeah. So yeah, let me just quickly wrap it up. And then yeah, I bought. So I inquired. I requested to test drive. It was a car, an i20 with 50,000 kilometers on the clock. A white one from Hyundai in Brackenfell. Yeah, it's not. It looks like we got one move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1. So 2. You can cross. Sorry, where was I? Yes, the white Hyundai. It was around 150,000 rands with 50,000 kilometers on the clock. So I was like, yo, that's a bargain. I checked the car out online and then I requested. I was approved, everything. Guess what? Now the car is brought to my workplace so that I can test drive it. And then the guy brings the older model for i20, not the one before. There's this current one, I don't know the names. I'm not really much deep into cars, but then I'm gonna learn. So there's this current model, the one that looks like it's super sporty, and then there's that one with an N series. You know that i20, yeah, but then mine is not the N. So that model, it's a 1.2 motion. Is it fluid motion or whatever? Yeah, the previous model, the older one, it had like 126,000 on the clock, and they said no, basically it's like 3.8, same price, wara. So prior to him bringing the car, he said he was still taking the car for resurfacing, taking dents, everything, so that they make sure that when he brings the car, it's attractive enough for me to take the car out immediately after doing the test drive. So yeah, cool. But get the car immediately. I said no ways. This is not the car I wanted to see. And then I showed the guy like pictures because I was taking screenshots. I was busy consulting with my uncle. So basically everything I was doing, it was online. Yeah. So I told him, no, this is not the car I requested to view. And then he said, no, I'm gonna look for another car around the same price that you wanna pay. Then I said, yeah, cool. And then a few days later, he shows me a blue. Why do people never stop when they're coming from the right? Yo, man, I think one day I should do a video. People can't drive here. Everyone just wants to get in. They think they have right of way. Because in a traffic circle, you wait. Whoever gets there first gets in. And you treat it as a four-way stop, right? But yeah, this rubbish. And if you get in, they're gonna hit you. They're gonna hit you. You won't even explain, because the person now, once they're in, they have right of way. Yeah, but anyway, let me not deviate much. So yeah, I like the car, but it was now a bit expensive. So I was like, no. I consulted with my uncle, and then I thought about this whole thing of credit record. If you keep on requesting, being pre-approved, whatever. So you know, these dealerships, when you are requesting and they're saying no, let us check if you qualify, they're basically applying for you. They're basically applying for you, man. Like, yeah, big mistake, another big mistake. So I've learned throughout this journey. I tried, yeah, like I really learned. But then guess what, now they're trying to give me the car. Now we are in that process, and I'm also fed up. So I'm telling them, no, if you don't give me, yeah, this was just before he got me this car. I said, no, if you don't give me this car by get me a car by Friday, just cancel the whole thing. I'll be fine. I won't need the car from you anymore. And then yeah, that's when they brought me this car. I really liked it. And then I remember the day they brought it to my place. I was still staying in Ops, and then I test drove it, and it was okay. But I was about to have a meeting, so everything was quite rushed. And yeah, so basically I test drove the car, checked the speed, pickup, I checked the reverse lights, everything, and it had like a couple of dents. But it was my first car. I didn't really get much into negotiating. No, I see some scratches here. But then I did mention like a few things. The spare wheel was not in a good condition. I mentioned that. I mentioned the dents and also the fact that they inconvenienced me. And then being mad, I thought that was a good deal, especially when they said, no, we're gonna give you a discount, especially since we inconvenienced you. You wanted a car a few weeks before, and then we got you the wrong car because the other one was already sold. So it was sold that weekend. So I think I inquired on a Monday or Tuesday, but the car was sold the weekend before, like on a Saturday. So I said, okay, cool. I'm thinking I'm gonna get the discount. They didn't even tell me the total cost of the car. They just told me, if this is how much you wanna pay, we'll make you pay that, and it's gonna be fine. Sharp. Like I had a buffer. Like I wanted a car that I could pay such that even if repo rates or whatever it's called, even if it goes up by 500, by 800, by whatever, I'll still not suffer. You understand? So yeah, that was my whole aim, while paying less. So, and also enjoying the car, enjoying, you know, like just the feeling of having the car, the convenience of going up and down, everything. So yeah, eventually I got the car. I remember when I went to buy, now they're calling me, do you want this? This will help you scratch what? I'm saying yes. What's this thing? Crystal fusion for the windscreen. I say yes. Yo, I've never been dribbled like that, man. But yeah, it happens. You learn. But yeah, my big mistake, I think, was not to go to these dealerships, because on the website they don't put all the cars that are there. Understand? So I made that big mistake. and they said balloon, how much? Bah, yeah. Yeah, basically. So yeah, man, it's a great car. I won't really lie. But came December, I'm driving home. Honestly speaking, this was the best drive going back home. It was such a nice feeling. Driving my own car. This car can overtake well, it goes well uphill. I don't need to do like, some cars you need to do like 50 change downs. This one just once, man. Like sometimes I couldn't even do like a change down. It just shoots. So such a good car. It doesn't chow petrol. It's got nice features. It tells you how much you have on the tank left. And yeah, like I think I'm an experienced driver, so I know how to keep my average like constant. So I was doing like 120, less than 130 overtakes, and yeah, so yeah, man, it was doing wonders. I got home safe, and then this car now starts acting up. Imagine, I'm at home now. This car, when you reverse it, giving you like a loud grinding noise. That thing, a whole car, CAA, baba. And my number plate, it's really not too common back at home. So the car sort of stands out sometimes. So if it's making noise, basically you brought home like a wreck. You think you brought home a car, a good car, or a not so bad car, but you actually brought home something that's gonna give you problems. And yeah, man, it was rough. I couldn't picture like or figure out what was wrong because I just bought the car, and then I took it to my uncle's workshop. He deals with cars, and then they tried to check the clutch. But then the tubes, so since the car is a hydraulic, it has a hydraulic thing, clutch, so it's not really a cable. Because in my mind, I thought maybe it's a cable, it's loose, but then it's really it's hydraulic. So they try to pump and check if it doesn't have like bubbles, something like that. I don't know the correct term. And it was okay, but then after I left, I could tell that grinding noise is still there, but then now it's a bit better. I'm telling you, I couldn't wait to be back in Cape Town. But then I had to take a detour, went through Mpumalanga, Kruger National Park, whatever. Still, the car was giving me those grinding noise. So what I would do is, before I reverse, I had to put it on 4 and then try to see if, like, when you're listening to the car, like, if it won't give you that. Yeah, so yeah, man, it was difficult until around March. I decided, no, enough is enough. Let me take this thing back to where it belongs. So I took it back to Hyundai, and yeah, now the real fun begins. Yeah, so they checked and they realized that the clutch is actually messed up. So I also googled before, and then I explained that no, really, this car is giving me problems, and it's been giving me problems before, but I just thought it was something that would pass. But yeah, eventually they opened the car, and then they showed me that the clutch is messed up. I need a new clutch kit, and whatever. It was gonna cost me 7,000 something. And I said, sure, do it. And then I remembered the car is under warranty. When they are calling you, you're saying yes, extensive service, yes. And then I asked them, I said, no, the car is still under, it's got a service plan. And then they said, okay, yes, but then it doesn't cover that. I said, okay. I started going through my documents, and then I found that the car also has extended warranty. Not does it only have extended warranty, the car's warranty, like what do they call it? forgot. It's been a while. But then the motor warranty or manufacturer's warranty, yeah, something like that. It's like 7 years, so it hasn't expired. There's still like 2 more years because this is a 2018 model. There's still like 2 more years before. But it doesn't cover for that. It doesn't cover for clutch. A clutch is covered only within 20,000 kilometers or the first year. And the first year is from 0. And it's something that they never explain. Like, where was I when the car was on 0 kilometers? Because I'm buying a car, like, it should be like starting from when I buy the car. But yeah, so it was a lot of back and forth, and I was not resisting. Kept on fighting, and yes, I think I learned a lot during that process because I realized I shouldn't be paying for a car which I haven't even driven for over a year. You understand? So yeah, it was a lot of back and forth, and eventually I called the extended warranty because it's a third party. This is also something they don't explain, that they don't do like extended warranties themselves. They get a third party to handle those type of logistics. It's fine. They told me, the third party told me, no, actually the car is still under manufacturer's warranty, so we can't do anything. You can't have 2 warranties at the same time. I said, cancel. They said, no, speak to the dealership. Called the dealership, but said, actually, cancel. Cancel. You know, like, what good is it doing me, like, if I've got the warranty but I can't use it, you know? So yeah, it was like that, and then eventually everything kicked off, and I only paid like 800 and something, yeah, close to 900 basically. Yeah, and I'm telling you, it was a real process. But it didn't end there. Now the car is being fixed. The car now gives them, they're done, you know, everything is done. They think it's right. But then, since with my history of driving dead cars, I'll tell you about that later as well. With my history of driving dead cars, I could feel, man, this is not the car that I bought and have been driving for a while. So I tell them, no, the car is shuddering. You know, I take the car back almost the following day, almost immediately, something like that. I take the car back. Not sure if you can still see me. Yeah, I take the car back, and then yeah, the technicians could confirm that yeah, the car was shuddering, and then they said no, we don't understand. And then I left the car for another week. They worked on it, and eventually they changed the clutch plate again. I'm sure, okay, based on what I think they only changed the clutch plate and never changed like release bearings, never changed everything like associated with it. So they only thought, since the clutch plate was messed up, was flat, let us only change that. You see, now I'm reversing, it would have gone like made it sound real, as if someone is grinding something. So yeah, they took the car back. They said no, this time around we changed it. We also test drove it. It should be fine. I went to pick up the car. The car was not fine. The car was not fine, and almost immediately when I picked up the car, I started it, left it on idle, and then I stood outside. I held the door, and I could feel like it was very faint. But then I called the technician. I said, you see, it's still shuddering. They told me to drive it for a couple of kilometers. They said that 300 kilometers. I went home, I did 500 kilometers. That thing never stopped. So it kept on increasing. When you are on an incline, and you're just balancing, it would go like crazy, man. Like the car is about to break apart. So I took it back, and basically I didn't have a car for a month during that time, and it kept on doing that. They changed the clutch like 2 more times, and eventually they said it was the flywheel, it was not skimmed properly. They took it back to where they skim. You know, if you take your car for this whole process of changing the clutch, they skim the flywheel as well. I learned a lot. So they skim the flywheel as well, but then they don't do it themselves. They take it somewhere for the car to get skimmed, and then when it was skimmed, they said it was not skimmed properly, and then they had to take it back, and when the flywheel returned, still same problem. So they couldn't really figure out what the problem was, and then they took, they've ordered another flywheel, and then from Joburg apparently, and then it arrived, and they realized that the issue was there was an imbalance on the flywheel. So that's why the car was shaking. You know, like the clutch, it rotates inside. So if it's not balanced, that rotation, it creates like the movement, and then it starts. So that's why the car was. But honestly speaking, I don't regret buying a car. I just regret buying it the way I did. So I never went to these dealerships to actually see the car, look at the car, check, go around it, like give myself time. Because look, it was like this. I had started working, I knock off at 5. I use a taxi to go home. I get home like to 7, where am I saying to 7? To 6, maybe 5:45. You are tired, it's during the week. Saturdays, I have other commitments. I just basically never gave myself the chance. So I thought maybe I can do everything online. I can try and negotiate online. But I really got troubled. So that's my story. Let me get to work. Enjoy your day. This is day number 4. I hope you like this. And remember, man, apply knowledge. Sharp.